Hello writers, Mrs. Damazi here and really excited for another top-notch teaching lesson on persuasive writing. But before we get started, remember to subscribe and hit the thumbs up so you know every time I upload a new video. You can also follow me on Teachers Pay Teachers. My name is Top Notch Teaching Lessons. Let's get started. Yesterday you worked on thinking about your audience, and when you were thinking about your audience, you were drafting your introduction paragraph. And while you were thinking about your audience, you weren't just thinking, okay, these are the people that I'm going to say my speech to. You were thinking questions or concerns that they might have, and you were addressing what they might worry about or think about as you're giving your speech. Today, we are going to draft our first paragraph that's explaining why they should believe your big, bold statement. But before we get started, let's remember where we are in the writing process. We are working on drafting. That means you are writing fast and furiously. You're not worried about punctuation. You're not worried about spelling. You're not even worried about perfect handwriting. All you're worried about is getting all of your wonderful and thoughtful ideas down on paper. Here is all that we have talked about when we're writing our persuasive speeches. So yesterday we thought about our audience, and today you're going to connect your ideas. So you're organizing your ideas, which sounds a little crazy because when we're drafting, we don't really worry about organizing. But when you're writing a persuasive speech, it has to be very organized. So today you're going to work on connecting your ideas as you write fast and furiously. Sometimes it's hard to think of how I'm going to connect my ideas. If all of my ideas are pieces of a puzzle and I have pieces of the puzzle just kind of all over, that's great and they might be beautiful, but my reader or the person who's listening to me say this speech doesn't really understand the puzzle. So I have to figure out ways to connect all of the different puzzle pieces together so that my reader or the person who's listening to me give the speech knows exactly what it is that I want them to see and understand. These are 4 ways that I like to connect my ideas. For example, because, also, and another. Listen for those 4 words or 4 sets of words as I read to you my first paragraph, and I want you to notice how I've tried to connect my ideas as I wrote fast and furiously. Mr. Harrell should be appreciated because he gets to school early each morning to make sure the campus is ready for us. You might wonder what he does so early, so let me tell you. The first thing he does is blow all the leaves away from the sidewalk. This is important because then we can walk into school without tripping. Another thing he does is that he turns on the lights all over the building. This is important because then all the teachers can see where they are going when they get to school. Mr. Harrell also makes sure everything is safe. For example, he walks the building looking for standing water or glass. This is important because then teachers won't get hurt. Mr. Harrell should be appreciated because getting to school early and preparing the building is important work. I bet you noticed that I tried really hard to connect some of my ideas together to make a big puzzle piece instead of lots of little puzzle pieces. Let me show you where I noticed that I connected my writing. I gave an example about why we should appreciate him for getting to school early each morning, and I circled the first thing. And then I explained why this is important. This is important because if you're writing something that's not about appreciating someone, you might say, this is a problem because, or you need to notice this because, or you should do this because. Then after I explained that, I went to another idea and I said, another. And then I said, this is important because. Then after I explained all of that, I went back up here and I said, Mr. Harrell also. So that's 3. That's telling my reader 1 for first thing, another is second, and also is third. That's 3 reasons why we need to appreciate him for coming to school early each morning. And then I explained why this is important. I've written out how to organize. When you are writing a persuasive speech, organization is kind of your best friend. So connecting those puzzle pieces is going to really help you in the end. Notice how I organized and how I want you to organize your first paragraph of your idea. You're going to start with a statement that's big and bold that connects back to your big and bold statement. So Mr. Hurl should be appreciated because he gets to school early each morning to make sure the campus is ready for us. The first thing, this is important because. So that's my first idea that connects to this. Then I say another thing, this is important because. That connects to this. The last thing, this is important because, and then it connects to this. So watch, you're going to have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sentences. At least 7 sentences. Use these sentence starters to help you. Here is your to-do list. Great persuasive writers know that as they draft, they also work to connect their ideas together. Remember, you don't want to just have little puzzle pieces everywhere. You want to show your reader or the person listening to your speech the entire puzzle. So draft your first paragraph explaining why others should believe your big, bold statement. Then add in connecting words to help your reader understand your idea. All you need today is your writer's notebook. Have fun connecting your ideas. Enjoy drafting. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friends.